Hi there, I'm Karen and it's time to Karen-ize. Today is Friday when we do some crafting. Today we're going to make some fun little quick crafts that you can use as a gift on a tiered tray. I love to take these with me when I go visit someone or go out to eat and leave it on the table. So fun. So the first one we're going to make is a little beehive. I'm using one of the Keurig cups and a foam ball. I don't know what size. They're ones that I've just had in my stash. So first of all, I'm going to cut that foam ball in half. And I'm going to glue 1/2 to the top of the Keurig to make the dome shape for the beehive. And just let that sit for a minute. I'm going to be using yarn, but you can use twine. I showed you real quick there, but I speeded this up so that you didn't have to watch me do everything in slow-mo. And I just glue and wind, glue and wind, glue and wind all the way up. You know, the first time I made these, I had a thicker twine and it was much easier. This yarn is Dollar Tree yarn and the other twine was the thin, and it's really hard to get it close together. So I would recommend painting the Keurig cup brown so that when you don't get it so tight together, the white doesn't show through. Because I tried and tried, but I still had places that it was showing through. It just, I don't know, it just wasn't working. I made 2 of them today and had the same problem with both of them. So either thicker or paint it first. So you just keep going. It's kind of tedious, but it doesn't take all that long. And you could probably use a different kind of glue instead of hot glue. I just like to do it that way because it's faster. Don't worry if you're getting glue on the outside, the little strings and blobs and things, because I think I'm going to show you in a little bit. You can just take your hot glue gun, not hot glue gun, your candle lighter, and even with yarn, you can just burn that hot glue off so it looks pretty nice. If you're using twine, it also burns off the little fuzzy pieces. So I just keep going at the very end. I just keep winding, 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 and then just push the last piece in, and you can't even tell. There I am burning it off. Just be sure you don't burn your fingers. It's a very small thing, so I just kept, making sure that I wasn't going to burn myself. So here I'm trying to use a marker to kind of fill in the white spots, and it helped a little bit, but definitely, and that wasn't dark enough, so then I put some black, and it looked okay, but it was not the best. So definitely paint it beforehand or use something thicker. And I did add a little piece of string to one spot and tried to see if I could fill it in that way. Now I'm just putting one right along the edge. I don't do that at first. I do it at the last. It just seems to be easier to do it last, at least for me. But you could do it whichever way you want. Oh, there's where I'm putting the extra piece on. You could probably go through and patch because when you burn, it does blend in. But I just left it the way it was. So now I'm taking some felt and I'm going to make a door. Now the door in the picture is the twine one. And the door is a little bit different. So there's 2 different ways you can do the door, or I don't know if you call it a door, but I glue that on and then I just glue a piece of the string around it to finish it off. And I'm burning off the strings of glue and stuff. And then I have some little they're not really buttons, but they are self-sticking, but they don't stick really well. So I do put hot glue, and I just put those wherever I want to put them in strategic places. Then I didn't have one of the Dollar Tree signs that had the long stick on it, so I used a little one, took the little clothespin off the back, and then I have a garden sign that I'm just going to glue it onto, so it does have the stick. I'm just writing "Have a beautiful day." And then I'm going to glue a couple bees on there and glue it onto the sign, cut a little bit of the sign off because it was too long, and then glue that to the back. And I love to leave these with my tip, not as the tip, but with my tip. And also take for friends. The next thing we're going to make is a little gnome. This is just an idea of one using mop string. This is a hat I had made for another gnome, and it was too small. And so I was able to use it for this. I decided to go funky and use pink hair. I'm using one of those leaf cutouts. You can use all kinds of cutouts. And I'm just kind of measuring there. If you've never cut fleece before, I think I show you. Don't go all the way through like that. No, no, no. You cut just under that backing. If you go all the way through, you're going to get that fringe look gone, and it's going to mess up your fur. So go just under the backing. I'm just cutting it out very carefully. It's a little harder to go fast when you do it that way. There we go. And I forgot to make the little point at the bottom, so I do it later. But I think I'm going to get the hat. Yeah, I'm going to get the hat. See how far that hat's going down because it's already made. If I were making a new one, I might have made the hat go down further, but I'm using that up, so I'm gluing it right up at the top. Just putting it on there. I'm going to turn it over and just glue that top edge around. And then I am going to go down to the bottom and just cut it in a little bit so that the beard itself is more of a V shape instead of a square shape. So you'll see me doing that, I think. Yep, there I go. And again, just cut underneath the backing. It just gives it a little bit more finished look, I think, when it's a V shape instead of just squared off. And you could do that ahead of time, or it might be a good idea just to leave it on because then you make sure that you're not cutting too much. All right, and then I'm just going to put that hat on there. I'm going to glue the back down so it's nice and secure. And you can use anything you want for a nose. I had a little pom-pom that was white on one side and pink on the other, and I decided to go with the pink. And I'm just going to tuck that just up under the edge of the hat. And then glue the hat down on either side. Now, again, there were little strands of glue and stuff, and on this one, I just kind of cut them off. I didn't take my candle lighter over there. I was getting all of the hot glue off my fingernails. All right, then I'm just going to fold the hat over, and I've got my button, or not, well, some of them are buttons, some of them are just charms, and I'm trying to see what I want to put on the end of the hat. Sometimes I put a bell, but I just felt like a bell wouldn't do it. I didn't have any colored hearts, or I would have put a heart on there. So I just tried a couple of things, and I ended up with, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, and I apologize, I just realized I thought I had my camera the same way I did with the first video, and this one's got the black box around it, so I apologize for that. It's just a cute little bird. I pick up little things when they're on sale, and I just have them in containers, so I've got all kinds of stuff when I want it. And I'm just going to kind of glue that down so that it stays folded over, because I'm going to make this as a hanging ornament kind of thing, and so I want to make sure that that is staying exactly where it's going to be. Guess I'm not gluing it yet. I'm putting the string on first. How smart of me. You never know. So I'm just going to tie the string on. You can use string, wire, whatever you want. Going to knot that and then tie it up into a loop. I have more trouble tying things than I do anything else when I'm crafting. Okay, now I'm gluing the hat down. And now you'll see I don't know if it's because I don't have really long fingernails, but I do have fingernails, and does that make it harder to tie a little knot? I don't know, or is it just that I'm not coordinated? I end up getting it done though. And then I just trim off the extra. And of course I'm holding him upside down, but I think I'm going to have a picture here in a minute. And there he is. Now we're going to make a really fun little thing out of just a jar that I had. This was one of those ones that had the good smelling stuff in it with the sticks. I sprayed it with this Sea Glass by Krylon. I think I did about 3 coats, but my Krylon was out in the garage for a while, so I'm just showing you some charms that you can't see, but they're little heart charms. I'm just going to tie a charm on either end of that string, wrap it around, tie it so it stays in place. I've got one of the charms already tied on. I decided I better do it in a knot. You could use raffia. I think raffia would be really cute also with this. I just wanted to use those charms, and I knew they wouldn't look as good with raffia. See, I told you I have trouble tying things. All right, now I'm going to put that on the other one. And it's fraying a little bit at the end, so I'm just going to cut that off so it's easier to thread through. I love that sea glass look. I'm going to have to spray a bunch of things. I love to save jars of all kinds and do all kinds of fun things with them. I'm just measuring so I have one longer than the other. And then I'll tie that off. I love in the summertime to put some water and a couple of flowers and just take them to a friend, or I leave them out for my mail lady. I love leaving little gifts, and I haven't done that for a while, so maybe one of these will go for her. All right, there. I'm trying to talk while I try to tie that knot. I don't know. Do you guys have trouble tying knots? All right, come on, cut it off, Karen. All right. So that's all I'm doing to decorate it. And then I've just got some silk flowers, Dollar Tree silk flowers, and I'm just going to experiment with them and put them in until I get the look I like, and then I will show you the finished product. And there it is. I thought it turned out real pretty. Thank you for watching, everyone. See you next time.